The jungle held its breath. Not a single leaf rustled, not a cricket chirped. It was as if the entire world had been plunged into an unnerving silence. I, Kale, a young silverback gorilla, felt the tension coiling in my muscles. My father, the leader of our troop, sat like a stone statue, his eyes fixed on the dense wall of green before us. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. The air, usually thick with the sweet scent of damp earth and orchids, now carried a faint metallic temps. A scent I'd never encountered, but my instincts screamed danger. My little sister, Ilara, whimpered softly, pressing against our mother's side. My mother, her gentle face etched with worry, wrapped a protective arm around her, her gaze darting from my father to the unsettling stillness of the forest. We were a family, a troop, bound by blood and the ancient laws of the mountain. But tonight, those laws felt fragile, like a spider's web in a hurricane. Suddenly, a sound shattered the silence. A high-pitched alien shriek that scraped against the inside of my skull. It wasn't the call of a leopard, or the cry of a rival troop. This was something else, something new. My father rose to his full, magnificent height, his silver back shimmering in the moonlight. He beat his chest, a thunderous roar echoing through the valley, a challenge to the unseen threat. Stay behind me. His deep rumble vibrated through the ground. No matter what, the shrieking answered, closer this time, and it wasn't alone. It was a chorus of them. From the shadows they emerged. Not one, not two, but a dozen figures. They were smaller than us, walking on two legs, their bodies wiry and covered in dark fur I didn't recognize. Their faces were the most terrifying part. Long snouts filled with needle-sharp teeth, and eyes that glowed with a feral red light. They were like no creature I had ever seen. They moved with a twitchy, unnatural speed, their claws clicking on the stones. They fanned out, creating a semicircle, cutting off our escape. Their movements were coordinated, intelligent. This wasn't a random encounter, it was an ambush. My father roared again, a sound meant to intimidate, to scatter any challenger. But these creatures didn't flinch. They simply bared their teeth, a low guttural growl rumbling from their chests. The leader, slightly larger than the rest, with a jagged scar across its muzzle, took a step forward. Its red eyes locked onto my father. I wanted to run to grab Ilara and flee into the darkness, but my feet were rooted to the spot, frozen by a fear so profound it stole the air from my lungs. My father, however, stood his ground. He was the king of this mountain, the protector of our family. He would not yield, he charged. The world erupted into a chaotic blur of fur and fury. My father, a force of nature, crashed into the line of creatures. The sounds were horrific. The snap of bone, the tearing of flesh, and the agonized screams of both gorilla and the strange invaders. I saw my father throw one of the creatures against a tree, with such force it crumpled. But for every one he took down, two more swarmed him, their claws and teeth a relentless assault. Kale, take your mother and sister. Run. My father's voice, strained with pain, cut through the chaos. Go to the old caves. Now my mother grabbed my arm, her eyes wide with terror. We have to go, Kale. We have to listen to your father. She pulled a whimpering Ilara close and started backing away, but I couldn't move. I couldn't leave him. I saw the scarred leader leap onto my father's back, its jaws sinking into his shoulder. My father roared in agony, trying to dislodge the beast, but others were climbing him, overwhelming him. A primal rage I never knew I possessed surged through me. With a cry that was half grief, half fury, I charged. I was not my father. I was not the king. I was just a young gorilla, but they were hurting my family. I grabbed one of the smaller creatures and hurled it away, my fear momentarily replaced by a desperate need to protect. But it was too late. I saw my father stumble, his powerful legs buckled. He fell to one knee, the red-eyed creatures swarming him like ants on a fallen fruit. His eyes, for a fleeting moment, found mine. They weren't filled with fear or pain, but with a command. Live, his look said. Protect them. My mother's frantic pull on my arm finally broke my trance. Kale, please. Tears streamed down her face. I looked at the hopeless battle, at my father disappearing under a tide of snarling monsters. I looked at my terrified mother and my trembling sister. My father's last command echoed in my soul. With a heart that felt like it was being ripped from my chest, I turned my back. I grabbed Ilara, hoisted her onto my back, and ran. We plunged into the jungle, the sounds of the fight fading behind us, replaced by the pounding of our feet and the frantic beating of our hearts. We didn't know what those creatures were, or why they had attacked. All we knew was that our home was gone, our leader was lost, and we were running for our lives into an unknown future. The scent of blood was heavy in the air, a scent that would haunt my dreams forever. We ran for what felt like an eternity, blindly crashing through undergrowth, thorns tearing at our fur. Every shadow seemed to hold a pair of glowing red eyes. Finally, we stumbled upon the entrance to the old caves, a place of legends, a network of tunnels deep within the mountain. We scrambled inside, collapsing in the damp, cold darkness. Huddled together, we could only listen to the sounds of the jungle, waiting. Ilara's soft sobs were the only sound in our dark sanctuary. My mother held us close, her body trembling. I was no longer a child. In one night, my world had been shattered. My father was gone now. I was the protector. And as I stared into the oppressive darkness of the cave, a single burning question consumed me. What were those things, and would they come for us next? The jungle's silence returned, but it was no longer peaceful. It was the silence of a world that had been forever changed, a world where new monsters now roamed, and we were right in the heart of their new hunting ground. The story of our survival had just begun.